Welcome to the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, partnered with Wells & Son Custom Construction. And this is the place to get all the information on what's going on inside the athletic department at IUK Kokomo. And joining us once again, it's my guy, Grant Patterson. He is one of the two assistant ADs at IUK. Grant, we're back here. It's a little bit of a weird weather week here in Kokomo, but that is not messing up any of the good things going on with the athletic department.
Definitely a bit of a weird weather week. I'll tell you what, Jay, I'm probably speaking for you as well. I'm absolutely sick of the cold weather. I was telling our baseball coach, Jeremy Honecker, the other day, I don't think we've played a single game where it's been above 55 degrees. We've probably played one above 50 degrees, but 55, I don't think we've surpassed that yet. And I'm hoping we only have one more set of home dates left for baseball on April 25th. I'm really hoping we get it done that weekend. I do know Friday this week, I was made aware by one of my student workers, Drew Humans, 78 degrees this Friday. Think I'm going to have to get out on the links and play some golf.
You might have to. Speaking of golf, men's golf had the IUK Spring Shootout, and they walked away with that trophy, winning that thing as with the team, and there were a couple of golfers that got medals as well.
Yeah, a couple golfers finished inside the top five too. Both of them being underclassmen. Okay. Super proud of those guys. Not just stopping there though. All 7 of those men's golfers performed extremely well considering the conditions that they were dealing with, especially on Sunday. I was out there Sunday myself, and I made the tough decision to wear shorts, seeing that the weather would be about 65 degrees. Unfortunately, the wind was about 35 miles per hour. So, yes, big-time performance by the men's golf team. Beat a couple River State's conference foes that came to participate in our tournament. First off, I want to say what a major success this tournament was, both men's and women's. Women's golf head coach Brandy Jones took a lead on bringing this tournament to town. I know our men's golf coaches would like to host a lot more golf tournaments next season, but I thought it was really a smoothly ran tournament, and our men's golf team really played well, only decreasing their score by like 4 strokes from Saturday to Sunday, considering they were playing in much tougher conditions. Hayden Williamson was up there after day one. IU East, they had the individual medalist, an Ohio State transfer in Sam Fireball. He shot 5 under on day one, so set the mark pretty low there, then shot even par. But we come back on day 2, and we have a freshman in Lucas Miller, local Howard County product and Northwestern High School graduate. He fires an even par 72 on day 2. I think that's his lowest score of his collegiate career so far. He ended up finishing solo 5th. And then Oliver Geralds happens to be another one of my student workers. Big shout out to him. He finished T3 with rounds of 75, 74, so he finished plus 5. 5 over in a tournament with tough conditions, no matter whether it's your home course or not, is impressive. But at the end of the day, men's golf team takes down IU East by 1 stroke to win the IUK Spring Shootout, the inaugural IUK Spring Shootout. So a big weekend.
That's amazing. I didn't realize it was that close down to the final stroke. I knew that they walked away with the win. I saw that over the weekend. But 1 stroke makes it even sweeter.
And let me tell you this, Day. I don't have much experience inputting scores at golf tournaments.
Yeah.
It's not a hard feat. I just, as an SID, that is part of my job, and I'm a little green there. But sitting there and inputting, I had the privilege of inputting the men's scores while Brandy and some people helped her with the women's scores, inputting them, and I was like, man, this is going to be a barn burner, but I think our guys are getting the best of the Red Wolves guys in IU East, and we really came out on top. One of our co-head coaches, Greg Cloney, was sitting next to me helping me input the scores, and I kept looking at him like, every score that one of ours came in, it seemed like we were going to get the better of them, and we did by just 1 stroke. But while we're on the topic of golf, before we head to women's golf, I'd also like to give a big shout out to Chad at Wildcat Creek Golf Course. He was awesome for us, helping us out, helping run the tournament, and then Pete Thatcher, Greg Cloney, and Brandy Jones did a great job as well.
What happened with women's golf during that tournament?
Yeah, women's golf, they had a little bit of a bigger tournament. I think 9 or 10 teams. A couple more teams made the trip there. Had a couple of Division III opponents travel from Ohio, including our former athletic director, his new school at Heidelberg. He sent his women's golf team over to town to compete. So they ended up finishing 6th of 9 or 10 teams. I think the weather, like I said, was absolutely atrocious Sunday for golf. So that doesn't help at all. But a couple girls, Carly Chandler sticks out to me. Haley Stegeman led the way. She's a Division I transfer from Tennessee Tech. We've talked about her plenty. She's impressive no matter what. Yes, she struggled this weekend. She'd tell you that too. I'm not just saying it to say it. Brandy would say that as well. But Carly Chandler was impressive. I think she's 3rd or 4th in our lineup, and maybe even 5th, and she came out and delivered. She was our 2nd best finish individually, so that was impressive from Carly Chandler. Big shout out to her. She's a Shenandoah High School product.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, when I was writing the article last night, I asked my dad, big high school sports fan. I was like, where the heck Shenandoah High School? You know?
I don't.
I guess it's in the Newcastle area. Yeah. So I had no clue. Newcastle area. But Carly Chandler was impressive. Freshman Stephanie Dickerson, maybe small in stature, but she impressed as well in some very blustery conditions. It is awesome to see her compete in such windy conditions when you're thinking, no offense, Stephanie, but I thought she might get blown over. The wind was blowing so hard. So yeah, overall, a great weekend for our men's and women's golf teams. And yes, women's golf would have liked to improve upon their finish. But anytime you can host a golf tournament and bring in 18 or 19 teams total to your home course, that's a good moneymaker for a small college athletic program.
A good moneymaker. It's a good moment for the both golf teams. Yeah. The men's getting the win there in that tournament. The track and field team was not too far away from Howard County recently. I believe that was in Marion.
Yep.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
But there were a couple school records that were set, a new freshman record that was set. All around good meet for the track and field team.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid weekend. A two-day meet being the 120th annual Little State Championships. That gives you some insight. So I was telling Jay before this, technically it's supposed to be all non-Division I institutions from the state of Indiana would compete in this. But I was asking our coaching staffs why I saw some IPFW kids competing because they are Division I. So I think they've kind of strayed away from that, but maybe you can't count your team score. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so you can send individuals to compete, but your team cannot place in that if you're not D2, D3, or NAI. So I think that's how that goes. But Indiana Wesleyan won the women's title. Indiana Tech won the men's title. Both of our teams, men's and women's, finished 11th. I think they would have liked to improve, but at the end of the day, Little State Championships, that's not the only thing you're competing for. That's far from the biggest because that has nothing to do with the NAI. While you can hit an NAI A or B standard on the weekend, Jay, it's not the River States Conference Championships, which are coming up just around the corner in about a week and a half from now. So we had plenty of solid individual performances. I know on the women's side, Paige Brooks impressed. I think we saw her name in the recap email from head coach Josh Colvin quite a bit. She impressed in the 400 meter, I believe. Mm-hmm. And she was also in the 4x100 meter relay team with a couple other impressive student athletes that I think set a new school record there as well.
Correct.
So she was a part of 2 school records on the women's side. I know a name that sticks out to me. The only school record that went down on the men's side was Bryce Statler. I think that was in the 10,000 meter.
Correct.
Which is absolutely insane, running for more than 30 straight minutes. Oh, man, I can't even imagine. Speaking of that, I really wonder what my mile time would be nowadays. I was discussing this with our other assistant AD, Alexa Roberts, earlier today, and I'm like, maybe I'm actually a lot slower than I think after I saw somebody post something on social media. So they always tell me I can join them at practice. That's definitely not going to happen anytime soon because I would be embarrassing myself. But overall, strong weekend for them. They'll head to Grand Valley State this weekend. Been up there quite a bit between indoor and outdoor season this year, and that's just a high-level facility. You go up there and compete against Division II foes you don't normally see and high-level competition that you're not used to.
Let's not forget Aiden Potts, who set a new freshman record in the 1,500 meter at 4 minutes, 12 seconds, .67 there.
Yep.
I don't want to forget that one.
I think there's one more, Jay, too. Isaac Ireland in the hammer throw. He was third.
Wow.
Both Potts and Ireland improved to third best all-time in program history in their respective events, and then both set new freshman records in those 2 events.
All right, I'm going to stop here real quick because I don't really go over this and make jokes about Grant very much on the show. Before the show started, we were talking about Grant's memory and how it's bad and how bad it's gotten over the past few months. My memory is bad as well. He just pulled off some stuff that I didn't think he remembered at all because we didn't talk about it today, but hats off to you for remembering that because you're shocking me right now. We talk every week.
Yeah, I guess this is work. This is something that it's ingrained in my head 7 days a week. And when you're writing articles about it, especially, I just wrote that article last night, so it is a little fresh in my memory. But I mean, it's hard not to. I take so much pride in that. I really do. We had physicals the other night, and I had a couple student. To be honest with you, no knock on our student athletes, but most of our student athletes have no clue what my job is. You know what I mean? And SID, Assistant AD of Communications, that is kind of a bland role, like a bland title. Like, what does that mean? That could mean a lot of things. So we had a couple student athletes, and I'd know their name, and they'd be like, how the heck do you know my name? Like, it's kind of weird. And I'm not trying to be weird, but I know what high school you went to, too. Mm-hmm. Like, that's part of what an SID should be doing, and I take massive pride in that. So remembering as many of these as I can, that's also why my articles tend to be run-on articles, because I feel bad if I'm missing out student athletes that I feel deserve to be honored.
Speaking of some things that happened recently, let's just say that their baseball team, they unfortunately are on a 3-game slide. They are 17-23 on the season. This is on the heels of a loss to Marion on Tuesday evening-ish.
Yeah.
They have a game on Wednesday of this week against Indiana Tech. It's also on the road. A busy week. I didn't really realize this before we came in today. I was putting notes together. I don't remember a week as busy for the baseball team as they have right now.
This has been as busy of a week as we've had all year, and largely in part due to weather. We went down and played Marion, so I think it's only right that we give them a chance to have their return trip here to Kokomo, and they took care of business yesterday, so we split that season series with the Knights of Marion. Those are, surprisingly enough, with them being only an hour away. That is, this season's 2 matchups with the Knights are the first 2 times we've ever played them in baseball. So, head back up to Indiana Tech Wednesday of this week to battle the Warriors, and they took care of business here at Kokomo Municipal Stadium. We'll look to get them back for that revenge. I believe that was the Kokomo Post Game of the Week earlier this year. And then, River State's conference series got moved up due to some weather issues over there at Rio Grande, Southeast Ohio. Their field is dirt, so they can only take so much rain, and I think it's supposed to rain a lot on Saturday and Sunday. So, 5 games in 4 days, beginning with Tuesday's game this week, but now beginning with Wednesday's game at Indiana Tech, 4 road games in 3 days. So very, very tough stretch. But this is the last River State's conference series of the season, and we only have 2 weeks left remaining in the regular season. But you may say 17-23 doesn't sound the best. This IUK Kokomo baseball squad is still tied for 3rd in the River State's conference. Top 6 teams advance to Chillicothe in the River State's Conference Baseball Championship May 1st through 5th. So I'll be making the trip over there. You don't have to make the trip. I encourage you to. 6 high-level NAIA baseball programs will be competing at a beautiful facility at VA Memorial Stadium in the Chillicothe Paints. So I'm really excited about what baseball can still accomplish, not just this week against a tough slate and going to Rio Grande and Indiana Tech, but also postseason. All you got to do is win the River State's Conference Championship, first of 6 teams. Yeah. You know what I mean? We could have taken at least 1 from Indiana Southeast, maybe 2. Shawnee State, we had no business losing 2 of 3. We're right there with the top teams in the River State's Conference, so who knows what will happen this late in the year, Jay?
One thing I want to leave the people with now is I'm not really going to dive into the details. That's his job.
Yeah.
This coming Tuesday, I don't know the exact title of the banquet.
Celebration of Champions.
There you go. It's a big deal. Him and Alexa Roberts, his running mate, have been working very, very hard on this. Got a little insight behind the scenes look at that at the baseball game when they were working on the script. Very detailed, very thorough, putting their heads together to make it a massive event. What is that event for, and can the people attend?
Yeah, people can definitely attend. We've opened it up this year. It's never been able to be attended. Normally we would just stream it and probably 10 total parents would hop on and watch it, but trying to do something different this year. No requirement to attend it. We just asked for a $10 donation. Like I said, not required. It'll be held in Havens Auditorium next Tuesday, the 22nd at 7:30 p.m. Really, this is essentially like you've heard of the ESPYs. Mm-hmm. It's essentially like our own version of the ESPYs, where we hand out awards that are unique to our athletic department and our student athletes. No coaches will be honored, but every student athlete and coach is required to attend. It's just a beautiful night to gather. In the past few years, we've done a meal. That seemed like it's drugged the night on a little bit. This year, we're just going to go with cookies and some drinks, and let these kids go out to dinner before or after the games. Or after the banquet. You know how close they are with their teammates, but I had a student athlete reach out to me yesterday just to make sure, yes, parents can attend, anybody can attend. Just Havens Auditorium, $10 donation is all that we ask, and that'll help us cover some costs because small college athletics, nothing comes easy.
No, it does not.
But I will mention one more thing, Jay. This weekend we've got women's tennis. We'll be celebrating their lone senior, Riley Heiser. She's meant a lot to this program. She's actually up for an award this year, and she's been through a lot. In her college career. Blew out her ACL last summer and didn't get to play at all this fall. And here she is, you know what I mean, back in full swing, playing 2 singles and number 1 doubles for a Cougar squad that went 4-2 in River State's conference play this regular season. A bit of a tune-up match, if you will, this week. Doesn't matter, not playing an NAIA opponent, taking on the Quakers of Earlham College out of Richmond. So they'll come to town and battle us this weekend. Hopefully good weather, and we'll be out at Taylor High School. If not, we'll be inside at Greentown. But stay tuned to IUKCougars.com for updates. And then tennis will be in action next weekend for their own River State's Conference Championships.
That's my guy, Grant Patterson. He is one of the 2 assistant ADs at IUK. And this has been the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next time.